Okay, this is my second attempt at a video for example 2, and that's because I made a mistake on it. So instead of rewriting this, I'm just going to talk through it. So first I've rewritten the equation so that I've factored out omega, which is pi over 4. So by factoring that out, we're left with x plus 1 instead of x plus pi over 4, because pi over 4 is our omega value, right? So here we've got a stretch of 3. We've got a vertical shift of 1. But now that we've factored out omega, besides the period changing, we can also see that we're going to have a phase shift that's left 1. And that's the part I forgot on the other video. So when we stretch this by 3, we can see that by taking our quarter marks, which would normally be 1 away from the intercept. So see, this is moved up 1. But if we had the graph before it's moved, so here's our cotangent graph here, and here's an asymptote and here's an asymptote. Then this point at the intercept, there would be a point here at 1, and then halfway between the intercept and the asymptote. So like that's the quarter mark, right? And then here we would have another point between the asymptote and the intercept at -1. So the 3 in front is taking that value and stretching it. So instead of it being at 1, it's going to stretch it to 3 instead. So that's what that 3 in front is doing, is taking those points that would have been at -1 and +1 and stretching them to 3 and -3 instead, which makes our graph itself a little skinnier. Okay, then with omega, the period, right here, that's where I've done this work, we take pi, because the period of cotangent is pi, and we divide by pi/4. Well, dividing a fraction is the same as multiplying the reciprocal, and we can cancel out pi. So the period is 4, which seems a little weird. We're so used to that x-axis having values of pi across it. It's perfectly okay for our x values to be just normal numbers. They don't have to have pi, especially if the period doesn't have pi. If it's just a whole number, then don't put pi in your labels for your x-axis. Just put them where they need to be. So the period is 4, which means normally our asymptotes for cotangent are at 0, and then a period down the road there would be another one at 4, so then there would be another one at 8, right? I didn't put that very evenly. Ooh, I guess that works. But because this particular problem has a phase shift left 1, and that's the part that I forgot in my other video, that moves our asymptotes so they're at -1, 3, and 7 instead of 0, 4, and 8. So hopefully you can see everything we've done here. We've got our cotangent graph. The period has changed to 4. The asymptotes therefore are 0, 4, 8, but they are moved left 1 because of the phase shift. There's also vertical shift up 1, so my midline is up 1. So we can see this is kind of where the cotangent graph would have been, right here. But that 3 that stretches and compresses it makes it skinnier. The shifts move it up and left, and we end up with a graph that looks more like this right here. So this point that would have been an intercept is going to be at, instead of where it would have been here at 2, 0, it's moved left 1, up 1. So here on this graph, it's at 1, 1 instead. And then this point here that would have been at 6, 0 is going to be here at 5, 1 instead, because of it shifting left and shifting up 1. Hopefully that makes sense.